Hey, everybody, it's David. Question for you. Why are early retirees so freaking boring? Yes, that is a question I got here on the YouTube channel a few weeks ago, and it led to a great exchange that I'm going to share with you. And it's a question we are going to work to answer. Right off the bat, I'm asking you, do you think early retirees are boring? Leave me a comment and let me know. And does boring really even matter? Does it matter if you're boring or not? Let me know what you think on that. Hey, everybody, it's David from David in Progress, where we talk about financial independence, retiring early, and doing your best to live your best life now from the perspective of someone who's out there trying to do those things. Hey, I got a big favor for you. If you get any value from my videos, please give me a thumbs up. It helps that algorithm know that you like this stuff and will help share it to others. I greatly appreciate you. Let's talk a little bit about the exchange. I did a video about 1 year of retirement. I think that is the one. And someone left that comment. And here's exactly what they said. They said, "Why are early retirees so freaking boring? I am a year older than him, and he might as well be my dad." I got a real chuckle out of that and thought it was funny. And then here was my response. My response: boring, perhaps. Bored, certainly not. Life is pretty good in my little world. Thanks for watching. And I kind of thought that would be the end of it, but the person couldn't stop and went on. Here was the next response: not perhaps boring, most definitely boring. I can't wait until your next posting where you describe rearranging your sock drawer. So I actually found that especially haha funny because, believe it or not, a couple hours earlier in the day, I had actually rearranged my sock drawer. No, it's pretty awesome. Here's a picture of it. I got my workout socks. I've got my cycling socks. I've got my hiking socks and I've got my dress socks. Yeah, it was a pretty great experience there rearranging that drawer. And I thought that would be the end of the exchange, but it turns out the person went and left a comment on another comment, someone who was leaving some feedback on the channel. And I will admit that triggered me a little bit. I don't mind people saying comments about me. That's part about being here on the internet. But when you go after one of my fantastic subscribers who leaves comments, well, that's going to trigger me a little bit. And here was that exchange. First of all, a terrific comment. My wife and I, who are 56, are also celebrating our 1 year retirement on January. Congrats to you. My wife is doing art and I'm restoring an old car. We also bicycle, garden, museums, look for fossils, and walk. Man, that sounded pretty fantastic to me. I was very excited for that person. And then here's the response from the curmudgeon: Jesus, are you 56 or 80? And that's when I got triggered a little bit, I will admit. Thankfully, this person ended up apologizing to the poster. And here was the response from my wonderful subscriber who left a great comment. No problem. Sometimes responses on chats are taken the wrong way. They might sound like a jab or a put down when actually they are just a casual comment. I'm curious what you think I should be doing at 56. Maybe I'm missing out. I'm married, a veteran, traveled the world except Australia, have multiple college degrees. My wife also believes I should be 80 because I listen to 1940s music uh, and jazz. So, what a great life it sounds like that person has. And everybody has a different definition of what is boring. What is boring to you might be incredibly exciting to me. I am one of those people. I'm an introvert. I'm perfectly content sitting out in the backyard with a fantastic cup of coffee, listening to a book, enjoying the birds and the sounds around me. Sounds incredibly boring to some of you out there, but I love doing things like that. There are people out there with hobbies that I would look at it and go, oh man, I would never do that. It sounds amazingly boring. But in a deeper reflection, it made me think back even further in my life. And have I lived a boring life? And if so, what has been the result? In the reality, the boring life I have chosen has led to what, in my mind, in at least my definitions, is great success. Boring investor. I am a boring investor. I'm one of those simple path to wealth type guys, even before that book came out. I've always done nothing except invest in mutual funds that have a very long term record of positive results and a very low expense. just cut off a bit of the top of my income and put it into those mutual funds over many, many years. And this boring investment lifestyle, this one that avoided real estates, avoided day trading and all those crazy things, led to me being able to retire early at 56 with enough in my finances that even with the medical thing that I'm going through and other stuff, I have a strong belief that we will be okay. Another boring thing I have done is prioritize family. Now, it was many years ago. I was at a training very early in my career, and there was a dude in the class, a really old guy. I think he was in his 50s or something. And he was talking about his retirement, which was just weeks away. And he was getting ready to hike the Appalachian Trail. And at that time, I'd never heard of it. And he took me aside, and for whatever reason, he decided to give me some good advice. And he talked about his life, and he had a rather boring job. I don't even remember what it was, but a very vanilla job. He seemed to have a rather vanilla career, and he recognized that, and he brought it up to me. And he said he had a conversation the other day with a friend that he'd grown up with, someone who had great financial success, someone who had done a lot of exciting things. And the person was kind of making fun of him for what really was his boring life. And he said he looked back at the guy and he asked him a question. He said, "Okay, you're a wealthy person. You have this big career. Maybe I don't. Let me ask you some questions." He asked him, "How many times have you been married?" And the guy looked at him and he said, "Well, I've been married 3 times." He said, "Oh, okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you have children?" And the person said, "Well, yeah, we ended up having kids. I've got one from the first wife. I got another one from the second wife. I have some stepchildren." Then he said, "Do you have good relationships with these kids? Do you get to see them and be with them?" And then you can kind of guess where the conversation went on. And he looked at me and he said, "I'm very proud of my life. I have a long and stable marriage. I have a good bank account, and I am excited to be retiring soon." And something about that conversation stuck in my head. And I realized that this person was one of the most successful people that I'd ever met or would meet in my life. And that advice never left me. So here I am all these years later. This year is our 30th anniversary of our marriage. I worked hard to have the boring life, to be intentional with my family and our relationships. I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with our son. I believe he's successful, went to college, he's got a great marriage, and all those kinds of things. Boring? Yes. Wonderful? Absolutely. And I do talk a lot on this channel, that third thing about live your best life now. In this journey to life, to where I am, no, I didn't jump out of planes. I've never owned a sports car. I've never owned a boat. I don't have a lake house and all those things. But I have lived a rich life of many activities, of things in the outdoors, of adventures, and all those things. Things that maybe you or other people might call boring. When I look back and think about it, it has been exciting. It has been a great life. So, yes, early retirees in many ways may seem boring, but think about it. We don't have the stress of work life. We don't have the stress of trying to keep up with the Joneses, to buy the boats or buy the cars and all those kinds of things. Our life is relaxed and it is gloriously boring. And I am so very thankful for it. So maybe boring is the life for you. Maybe that is the strategy, the direction that you need to take. Because being boring can lead to health, happiness, and fulfillment as long as you direct that boredom the right direction. So, what do you think? Do you think retirees are boring? When you reflect on your life, do you have a boring life? What would you do with it? How would you answer that question? I'd really love to hear from you in the comments below. Hey, once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being part of this channel, giving me those thumbs up and all those things. Help spread the word about financial independence, retiring early, and living your best life now. I very much appreciate you.